Hi, my name is Bethany. Pornography was a huge struggle in our marriage. This is part of our story. So I'm mainly going to be sharing from my own perspective in the struggle against pornography. And mainly the three things I want to hit on is how porn affected me as a woman, how God showed me how to overcome the struggle with porn in my own heart and my own mind, and how the Lord used pornography to change and shift my own issues in my heart about appearance and the way that I looked. So when Sean came to me before we were married and said, hey, I have a struggle. Sometimes I look at pornography. It's something I don't like. I'm hoping that I don't bring it to the marriage, but I just want to let you know that this is something that is a struggle. I said, okay, no big deal. We'll work through it, and not a big deal. Well, fast forward weeks and months into our marriage, and thankfully Sean is a very open and honest guy with me. He always would come to me when he struggled. But the more that he came to me and the more that he confessed his struggle to me, the more bitter, the more angry, and the more resentful that I got towards him. Also, at the same time, while he is struggling with pornography, my issue and my struggle has always been with food and appearance as a woman. And so as he was struggling with porn, I began to become more and more insecure, more concerned about my weight, more concerned about what I look like. And I began to sink into a super, super dark hole in my life. One of the darkest seasons of my life, I would say. When he was struggling with pornography, I got the skinniest I'd ever been, which was down to about like 115. And I was coping and using food and not eating or overeating or binging or whatever it was to deal with the hurt and the pain that pornography was bringing into my life. The battlefield in my mind was raging all the time. I could barely go anywhere with my husband. If a beautiful woman walked by while he was struggling with porn, the stuff would start going in my head. Oh, Sean wants that girl. I'm not beautiful enough. She's got this. I don't have that. Sean's looking at that woman. And it was insane, the battlefield and the struggle that was going on during those years of our lives. We couldn't even go to the beach together. We couldn't go to the swimming pool. It was very difficult to be around pretty much any woman that was beautiful or dressed provocatively. I would completely shut down and just have a panic attack because I didn't know in my heart whether or not that's what he wanted. And that's what the lie of pornography was bringing. Even though my husband is a very godly man, he was fighting against it. He hated it. He didn't want it. He constantly reassured me that I'm the one he wanted. But every time he struggled with porn, it was like a direct slap in my face. And it was like it erased everything that he ever said or did, because that was the truth in my own mind, was that you don't want me, you're looking at porn, I'm not enough. And that's what porn did to me and to my heart. Where this story begins to have hope, okay, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of all the darkness and all this stuff, because it got really dark, y'all. And I'm here to say that it was some dark seasons, some dark years for me. But where the hope began was that God began to do a work in me in showing grace to my husband. When Sean would come to me, I felt like the Holy Spirit gave me two options. He said, you can show your husband grace, or you can show him wrath and the fire and the brimstone, which is going to cause him to look at porn more. Or you can show him grace and you can show him mercy, and it's going to cause him to be free. Now, I want to put a little disclosure, though, right here. There are two different types of men in struggling with porn. By God's grace, the Lord gave me a husband who was fighting against porn, didn't want porn, was always confessing, after the heart of God, didn't want it, was a fighter. Then you have the other side, where you have a husband who's hiding it, doesn't want to change, looking at porn and is not telling you, sneaking around, fill in the blanks. There's two different. So I just want to put a little disclosure there. This is my story for a man who is confessing. For a man who's not confessing, I think that's a whole other video. But if you have a husband who is fighting against it and doesn't want it, I would charge you, woman of God, as hard as this is that show him grace. Show him grace and show him mercy. And the more that you show him grace and the more that you show him mercy, I promise you, you will see your husband begin to break. And God will begin to use you to show you the heart of God for him. And you have to understand, for the man who is really fighting against the lies of porn, he's already beaten himself up enough. Like, I didn't need to beat up my husband anymore when he told me and confessed to me. Because in his mind, he already was like, I'm the scum of the earth. How can I do this to my wife? What am I doing? He was already convicted. And so, and I would like to tell you that I did it perfectly, but I absolutely did not do it perfectly. And sometimes the Holy Spirit would lay out two things for me and say, all right, Bethany, here's your choice. What are you going to do? And sometimes, y'all, I would choose the wrath. And I saw the fruit of not showing him grace, because it would cause more problems, more division, and more issues in our marriage. In that, I also wanted to say, I said at the beginning of the video that before I came into my marriage with Sean, I had my own issues. I had an eating disorder. I struggled with drug addiction. I struggled with other relationships before Sean. So I did not have a clean slate coming into our marriage. And as weird, I actually told this to a friend the other day, and it sounded weird in me saying this, but God used pornography to change my heart and to change me. Because the more that my husband struggled, and the more that I couldn't rely on him in a sense to fulfill that need in me as a woman to say, tell me I'm beautiful, tell me I'm worth it, tell me I'm everything to you. You know, all those things that us women want from our husbands. You know, when I couldn't go to him for that anymore because my heart was so broken, I had to go to Jesus. And God had to redefine me and my own issues and my own stuff with my weight by using porn, because I was trying to play on the same field as the world does, with porn and appearance and looks and being sexy and being beautiful and all these different things. When Jesus calls us to a completely different playing field, and I don't want to call it playing field, it's not a playing field, but a completely different foundation, let's use that word, which is Jesus. And what does Christ call us to as women? And what does he say that's beautiful? A gentle and quiet spirit. A woman who honors God by the way that she dresses and the way that she presents herself to the world, not just outwardly, but in her heart as well. That's what's beautiful to God. And as I get older and as I age, that's the beauty that's going to last. And that's the beauty that my husband is going to be attracted to. Because when I stand before Jesus, it's not going to be what I look like. It's not going to be what I poured into my appearance. It's going to be my heart that remains. My body is going to die, and my soul and my spirit will be resurrected to him. And so porn changed my life because it broke me. It broke me, and it shattered the foundation that I had built all my life as a young girl. And even to this day, I'm 35 years old. Sean hasn't struggled with porn for about 7 years. And God is still doing that work inside of me. I'm not perfected. I don't have it all right. But I will say that he's constantly bringing me back to the grass withers and the flowers fade. This fades away, but your spirit, God, your word, your truth remains. And so I also wanted to say again that for those of you in the midst of this struggle, in the midst of the darkness, that I did not believe that my husband and I would be free from this issue. And I'm here to tell you today that we are free. Are we perfect? No. Do we have to keep our guard up? Yes. Do we have boundaries? Yes. Sean and I are not going to go spend 4 days at the beach with women walking around in string bikinis all day. We're just not. It's not our place. Now, can we go to the beach for the day with our kids and play and have fun? Absolutely. And that's something that we couldn't do before because of the battlefield that was in both of our minds to walk in freedom. I'm telling you today that a beautiful woman walks by, and I'm like, I can acknowledge that woman is beautiful, but it doesn't crush me and kill me inside to think that, oh, my husband, that, you know, the mind games of, oh, my husband's looking, oh my gosh, he wants that, all that stuff, it's gone. And we can walk in victory and freedom. We have a godly love life, a good love life that is satisfying, and we are walking in victory and freedom today. I know there's so much more that I want to cover in this video, and I could probably spend the next half an hour doing that. But if you are someone that is struggling with pornography in your marriage and you want to reach out, I'm going to link my email below. You can reach out to me through email, and my husband and I can be praying for you. We can encourage you. I would love to talk with you about the freedom that we found through Jesus Christ and through his presence. It can only come through him. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please share it with a friend if you know of someone who's struggling with porn in their marriage. I think more people struggle with porn than we realize, and it's time to start talking about it. So have a good day, guys. Bye.